Let's talk about testamentary trusts. Testamentary trusts are great tools that can be used in wills. They are wealth vehicles if they are used well. When people talk about intergenerational wealth, it's often because that family has utilized some form of trust structure, whether that is a trust established during someone's lifetime or a trust that's established in a will, known as a testamentary trust. Now, firstly, our Wills No Frills product doesn't do complex testamentary trusts. So if you're interested in a testamentary trust, you'll need to book an appointment. Our Wills No Frills will holds a simple trust for minor children until they reach 18 or 21. Now let's dive into testamentary trusts. What are they? Why are they great? So essentially, when you have a testamentary trust in your will, what you're doing is instead of giving money or an asset to a person, to a beneficiary personally, the asset or cash goes into a trust. And that cash or asset is managed by a trustee to benefit a person or beneficiary. So instead of me saying, I give my house to my son Jackson, what I instead do is I say, I establish the Jess Burke Testamentary Trust. The trust will have an appointer and a trustee, and these are people who control and manage the trust for my son Jackson. Now, the benefits of that are several things. It ensures that my son Jackson can't blow through his inheritance and there's some control and management of the money for him or the asset for him. Second great reason, epic tax benefits of trusts. So any income or distribution to my son Jackson from the trust would have tax-free thresholds. The money and stuff in the trust is earning this great compound interest if it's properly managed, so that the inheritance can last a lot longer, has great tax benefits. You can have some control over how the money is used. So you can say, regular distributions of X amount, or that it's at the discretion of the trustee to decide how much they're going to give Jackson. And for that reason, the trust can last multiple generations. And not only can it benefit my son, but I can then say, well, upon it goes down to his children and maybe even my great-grandchildren. Now, another benefit of testamentary trusts is asset protection. So if my son Jackson gets married and goes through a divorce and there's a division of his property and assets, the money that's in, or assets that are in the testamentary trusts, will likely be protected from that family law bust-up because the assets are not in Jackson's name. He doesn't own them. And if I set the trust up in a way where he's not the trustee or appointer, he doesn't control or manage the assets, he just benefits, then the trust is protected, which means that you're not losing part of your estate to family law bust-ups. Or if Jackson went bankrupt or something like that, I'm not going to lose money that I've worked hard for my whole life to that. It's protected for my family for generations to come. Another great benefit of trusts, most people, and if you have just the nuclear type family, most wills go, I give my estate to my partner and then to my children. And the whole benefit is, you want your partner to trust your partner in that situation to do the right thing, and you're hoping that they will look after your children if you die first. But if you're a young family and you've got young children, then there's a lot of trust in that situation. If I died tomorrow, my husband would probably remarry and find a new wife, and he might go on to have more children. And if I just give my whole estate to him, there's a lot of trust in, well, will he actually look after my kids, or will he be really torn? If he has other children and has a new partner, then he's going to love them too and want to provide for them. And I've just given everything I have to him, and I'm trusting that he's going to do the right thing. If we set up a testamentary trust, what we can do is take that equation out. I set up a trust where my assets go to my children. My husband could also be a beneficiary of that trust, so the trust can look after him. But in the event that he remarries, the trust is not an asset of his. So he can't give it in his estate to his new wife or his other children. If he then breaks up with his new wife, my trust money is not his asset to, and can't be involved in their family law dispute. So there's a lot of benefits to trust. There's a lot of asset protection, a lot of tax benefit, and they can be wealth tools for families. But they're not right for everyone. I would say you need equity assets in the vicinity of $500,000 to make a trust worthwhile. And that's because instead of the estate being simple, wrapped up in about a year, The estate is ongoing. The trust is this entity that keeps going, which means every year tax returns need to be done. They cost more to set up. So instead of a relatively simple will that might sting you a few $100s, testamentary trust wills will run you several $1,000s to set up. And when you're setting up the trust, the testamentary trust will, not only do you need a competent solicitor who can draft these type of documents, but you'll also probably want to engage a financial advisor. So there is some upfront cost to set them up and ongoing running cost, which means that your asset base probably needs to be more than just the house and car, or if it is the house and car, the house needs to be paid off. There needs to be equity available to run the trust to make it worthwhile. If testamentary trusts sound like something that you want more information on, or you want to book an appointment to talk about it with me, get in touch with my firm. Testamentary trusts are really great wealth tools, and if you're young and you've got young kids, I think they are perfect for you to set you up and set your children up for generational wealth and asset protection, and it's perfect to do it while you're young and setting things up. So yeah, if you've got any other questions about testamentary trusts, let me know.